Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is week 4, at least for me, of the Great Guitar Build-Off. Because I have not said this before, if you happen to be a person who has, poor you, stumbled upon this channel and you have any interest in what I'm doing, I am doing this for charity. I'm going to be any proceeds that come from people watching my work, or if I decide to sell one of these guitars, will go towards a charity called Hungry for Hope, or sorry, not Hungry for Hope, Hungry for Music, which is an organization that provides instruments to underprivileged students and underprivileged teachers in those school systems. And I can tell you from having worked in an underserved school system before, any sort of money like that really, you can't donate your money to a better place. Kids having instruments, kids having the outlet to make music, and some positivity and a creative space in their lives is huge. So I'll put a link in the description below if you are interested in, I think tickets are $5, throwing a couple bucks at a worthwhile charity. It would mean a lot to me. It mean a lot to the people who will be on the receiving end of your gift. So I have got a bunch to do today and this week. I have got a lot of pieces and parts in now. I've got the wood to make necks and fretboards. I've got the templates in so that I can do the Telecaster body, and will eventually route out the necks and neck pockets. I've got a little bit of gluing and filling that I want to do. I've got a ton. So on my list of things that I want to do today, I'm going to make some walnut dust from some of my offcuts from making that body blank. I'm going to use some glue and some dust to fill in some tiny little gaps, get that to set up. While I'm doing that, I'm going to take this big piece of maple, which I will show you in a little bit, and kind of get that drawn out so that I can make as many necks and fretboards and maybe some other stuff out of that. So I'm going to have to sit down and do some measuring and some math on that so that I feel good. I may get some of that cut off today. We're just going to kind of have to see where I end up when, what time it is before I get to move on to the next thing. So I'm going to stop talking now, get to work. I'm not going to show you any pictures of me making sawdust because nobody wants to see that. But I will show you the finished result of that walnut blank. So that'll hopefully be the last thing before I start doing real guitar work. So here is what we are looking at for the necks and fretboards of the guitars. These are both going to have maple boards because that's what I like and that's what my dad likes. So this is about 5 feet long here. My intent right now, it's kind of hard to see, I know I'm having to pan out, is I'm going to make this section into boards because I kind of think that this is the prettiest part of the wood grain. So because I really hate wasting wood, here's what my plan is. This is what I'm going to be working on here for the next little bit. I'm going to put a template here and a template here. And obviously these are going to be more squared up and better positioned. And that's going to take up about 30 inches. I'm going to take and very carefully cut through here so I can separate that part out to make the fretboards. And then I will take about 36 inches here. I will make another neck size piece right here, and that will leave me with just enough wood to be able to turn what is left here into some martial arts weapons a little bit later. So yeah, that's the story of this maple. I'm going to go ahead and get started on doing some cutting. bother with setting up the tripod. Just going to show what I've got to show for a day's worth of guitar. So I have this finished and ready for a template and to become a Telecaster body. I have two maple fretboards with grain on them that I'm really happy with. I think is going to be quite pretty. And I have two blanks that are ready to become necks, and I suspect that there's probably a more efficient way to put this together and save some wood that I've done here, but I will find some other things to do with these offcuts, I think. So at any rate, here we are. This is a day's worth of work here at the high school wood shop, and I am happy. Oh, happy Friday from the high school. Going to try to accomplish some things tonight. I felt like I got a lot done earlier this week, but the rest of this week has been kind of instructive. So things that I have been instructed on, namely, have to do with this, my nice neck template that I bought, and it is a nice neck template, by the way. I'm pleased with it, but some things that I have learned. So I bought some bottom bearing routers because, I need a bottom bearing router to take care of that. And the bottom bearing routers that I bought are too big, so that's just not going to do. So I'm going to have to get another really itty bitty bottom bearing router to be able to route these truss rod channels. But you all probably knew that. The other thing that I did not think about, so I have had to buy some tools, and I still have to buy some more tools. But I bought a couple rulers from Crimson that will be here hopefully sometime in the next few days. And I was like, oh, I'm buying stuff from Crimson. You know what? I'm going to buy their truss rods. And their truss rods are 430 millimeters long. Guess what's not 430 millimeters long? This is not 430 millimeters long. So I've had to do some measurements and things that I realize that I don't actually know anyway are how far from the opening of the truss rod channel do I need to recess the truss rod? So where do I need to extend this channel to? And I got a lot of research I got to do this weekend. So this has been very instructive. Yeah, so there's that. Probably not going to make a lot of progress on necks for a little bit until I get some tools in and learn some things. That's probably going to be late next week. But what I am going to do today is this. So I took the walnut telly body. I was on the bandsaw a little while ago. I didn't record anything because I had some folks in here who were talking, so I just kind of did my business. But I have got this taped up for the masking tape and super glue trick, which I'm actually a little nervous to try because I've only tried it on stuff that I don't care about. So I'm going to get this done today. So that would be really awesome to actually have a Telecaster body at the end of the day. And then the other thing I realize I'm going to need is to be able to change the shape of this or expand it. I'm going to need some router guides because I am just not steady-handed enough to be able to route that straight. So I'm going to take some of the scrap wood that's laying around here, and I'm just going to probably rip it down and make some flat things that I can super glue to this when it comes time for me to adjust this appropriately. So that's a Friday night agenda. I'm not going to talk anymore. I will do a little bit of recording once I get this router table set up. is a Telecaster body that I am happy with on a Friday night. A few trials and tribulations to get here. It was the first time I had ever done that masking tape and super glue trick on something that I really cared about, so I was happy that that worked. I have used my plunge router quite a bit for rounding over edges and doing things like inlaying that bow tie, but I've never really used a router table very much, and boy, that is a frightening tool. It sure does work good, but it is a frightening tool. So I'm happy to have all this done. Very happy with this shape. Um, I think more than anything, I've got to thank the instruction of the people that I've watched who really encouraged me to try this, and that it is a thing that can be done. So thank you all very much, and I'll catch you with again. Here we are. Welcome to another Saturday. It's almost beginning to feel a little bit like summer here, which is first time it's been this way in a bit. So I guess that's good since we're coming to the end of the school year. I've wrapped up the 4th week of building, which is a good feeling, and I feel like this week I actually made some progress, even though, like I said, and when I was in the shop, I definitely had some learning experiences, um, both in terms of just routing things out, physically how a guitar is constructed, but then, as I sort of hinted at, using that router table. So that was exciting, and I know I edited some stuff out, but I'm sure that those of you who are better and more experienced woodworkers than me can imagine what some of those mistakes were. So I have all my fingers. I got a lot done. That's a good feeling. Waiting for some more tools to come in. Hopefully that will be sometime this week so that I can actually get started on those next. That would be pretty cool because I'm coming to the end of where I'm going to be willing to work on these bodies until I can actually directly measure some stuff off the necks. So good progress. And I said it briefly again when I was in the shop. I want to go ahead and say it more directly when it's really on my mind. Thank a lot of you for the encouragement and the kind words and the comments on the videos. Stuff makes a huge difference. Thank those of you who have kind of made this your vocation in teaching people online how to do the things that you do. That's a pretty awesome thing to do, particularly since you are doing it even more in the public eye than I do, and exposing yourself to all of the commenters in the world. So good for you guys. You really don't know it, but anytime you choose to do that, that can really be transformative to other people. I've got a lot of my seniors coming to me right now as they get ready to graduate, and when you choose to put yourself out there and to try to teach and to try to mentor, you don't always know the extent of the difference that you make. So thank you guys for the encouragement, and we haven't interacted directly. Thank you for the content that you make, because at least in my case, if it wasn't for that content, I wouldn't be willing to try this project. And I'm enjoying myself, and I'm finally getting to the point where I feel confident that I'm going to be able to accomplish this thing. So thank you again. Guys, have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you.